Maybe that's why he's wearing that look today.
UMass Lowell in the blue, road blue, UMBC in the home white, controlled by the Riverhawks to start it off. From right to left here, UMass Lowell has beaten UMBC 11 of 18 times overall, and 3 in a row, including last year's playoffs and twice this year. Allende Hakeem finding Alan Blunt for a elbow jumper, and right away, UMass Lowell takes the early lead.
Alan Blunt is this team's leading scorer. He's their most consistent player. And Hakeem became the starting point guard midway through the season when they lost their starting point guard, Justin Faison, to an injury playing up at Maine.
We should also mention there's a starting five for UMBC. 3 seniors, 2 juniors. The Retrievers have tied it up from Yao Obeng-Mensah.
He always seems to get off to a quick start,
First basket, he does. Here's Blunt now working on Nathan Johnson. That was a key substitution by Jim Ferry.
No call there.
Looks like
the officials are going to let him play. Experienced crew here with Dwayne Gladden and Nathan Farrell. And the third referee is Adam. I'm blocking on his last name. Adam Vandenberg. And since it's tournament play, we have a standby. And the standby is Tyler Sandman. So if, God forbid, something happens, one of the officials
will have to say it.
Enter Sandman.
Here's Rogers now with Mass Lowell leading early 4-2. And Darnell Rogers gives the Retrievers the lead.
That's a good start for Darnell Rogers since he hasn't played in 8 days. And again, moving a little bit left to get off that left-handed shot over Hakeem.
Allende Hakeem, there he is, number 4. That'll be a great matchup with Rogers today.
Key matchup for both teams. I'll explain why in a sec.
Here's Max Brooks, who was on the all-defensive team for UMass Lowell, led the conference in blocks. Good hands here by the Retrievers with the turnover. And Rogers running the point now for UMBC.
That's a block, no doubt.
That'll be on Brooks. That'll be foul number 1 personal and foul number 1 on the team.
And Vandenberg with that call. Now that I remembered his last name, there's Jim Ferry. He's done a really good job here. It's worth remembering the team was 1-4 in the conference starting out and won 10 of their last 13. The only 3 losses were at New Hampshire, at Mass Lowell, and surprise at Vermont.
Ferry led him through that 24-day COVID break. Nice underneath. The give and go to Obeng-Mensah, who's got 4.
Darnell Rogers does not look even a little bit rusty after not playing Tuesday night. He had a back issue.
We should also give Ferry some credit for that key lineup change, putting Nathan Johnson in the starting lineup. Hakeem spins over Rogers. Rebound comes down to Kennedy.
I was talking to him yesterday about that because Jacob Bunyasov has been so good off the bench and had to get back in the starting lineup Tuesday because of Kennedy's injury. And he said when he called Bunyasov in, and there's a touch foul.
Everett Hammond picks it up.
But when he called Bunyasov in to say he was going to change the lineup to make Nathan Johnson, put Nathan Johnson in, he said he did it more to get Bunyasov back to the 3 spot, which is his more natural position, because he's very undersized to play the 4, and he'd been playing the 4. And he said Bunyasov looked at him and said, "Coach, whatever you need." And he's played that way.
That's the kind of player he is. A lot of players will go to his shell.
He did the opposite.
Not produce, absolutely. A lot of traffic underneath, and Max Brooks breaks through.
And Max Brooks and Hakeem, according to Pat Duquette, are the 2 keys to this game for Mass Lowell. Brooks, because they got to get him involved. That's a good pass to Owens. Couldn't finish.
Johnson keeps it alive for UMBC.
Underrated offensive rebound.
Look at Obeng-Mensah, 3 for 3.
That's not usually his spot, but when the ball goes in, it's his spot. But Brooks, because they've got to get him involved offensively. Hakeem, because he has to keep Darnell Rogers out of the lane.
Here's Blunt, left elbow, picked up by Johnson, 15 to shoot. Brooks now underneath with Obeng-Mensah. We'll watch that all game. Brooks strong, and the basket. And Max Brooks will go to the line for the Riverhawks.
Pat Duquette likes seeing that. Max Brooks being aggressive inside. UMBC catches it in the low post. A lot of bumping there from both sides, but the officials aren't going to call contact that they don't think affects the play. And I think that's the way to officiate.
It's certainly the way to play it in the playoffs, and it should be the way to play it all season long. You see Simone Wojcik, the 6'7" forward out of Poland, 6'9" actually, coming in.
Did he shrink?
No, he didn't. I shrank. I shrank the kids, honey.
Honey, I shrank the kids.
Either way. And now a substitution here early for UMass Lowell. John Hall, number 23, a 6'7" grad from Philly, comes in for Brooks, who's got 5 points for UMass Lowell. We're tied at 9. Coming up on the 16-minute mark, Kennedy, little mid-range jumper, kept alive by Wojcik, but into the hands of Hakeem.
He's one of the few guys I don't question when he goes left as a right-handed shooter, because we've seen him make that shot too many times to question. Poor pass, near steal.
Hakeem keeps it alive. Underneath, no finish for Hammond.
And again, this is a big key for both teams. Offensive rebounding for Mass Lowell. And it leads to a three-pointer. Third shot of the possession.
Alan Blunt for 3, and Mass Lowell now up in the lead with 12-9, 3-point lead. We should also mention Pat Duquette, the head coach of UMass Lowell. There's a big DC influence on this team. No less than 9 players come from the DC area.
Yeah, and 4 of the starters.
Johnson inside, keeps his pivot foot. Backdoor underneath, a lot of traffic, up and in for Kennedy.
As I've said often, no player on this team can create his own shot better than Keandre Kennedy. That's why he's their leading scorer. That's why he was first team all-conference.
Kennedy up over 15 per game, 1 straight away. He's hot, 3 for 3, including 2 from 3. And UMass Lowell with by 4.
Pat Duquette, a little upset. None of his players made the first 3 all-conference teams. And I'm not sure how Blunt didn't.
Not sure how Max Brooks.
Pat Duquette says this has probably been his most frustrating season, because he sees there are moments when he says, oh, we're pretty good. And then there are moments when they're not pretty good.
Now the foul situation bears watching here. The last foul was on Khalil Thomas. That's his first. Team fouls, the Riverhawks have committed 3 in the first 5+ minutes. UMBC with 1. One of the top free throw shooters in the conference at the free throw line right now.
And this is a very good free throw shooting team.
And Rogers hits both.
And in a close game, that could be significant, because Lowell is about 10 percentage points lower than the 78% that the Retrievers shoot.
So Rogers sits down with his first 2. You saw Jacob Bunyasith, the transfer from American University. Or correction, he's got 5 now, Rogers. And the Retrievers now put Bunyasith in the lineup. Been hot from 3-point distance lately.
He has been great for them off the bench, and was great for him starting on Tuesday night.
He and Matteo Piccarelli started when Rogers and Kennedy had to sit because of injury. Here's John Hall for 3. Not necessarily his game, but over Wojcik.
Well, they start out making 3s. As I said, they made 9 in the game at Lowell, and they're usually a team that doesn't shoot from the 3-point range that often. They average 5 makes a game.
Hall was just a 19% 3-point shooter during the season. 5 makes in 26 tries.
It's better than that now.
1 for 1 today. Kennedy,
there's what Keandre Kennedy can do. That's why he's so dangerous, because you can guard him well and he'll still hit a shot over you.
One of the best mid-range games in the conference, no doubt. Here's Thomas now, left a open at the elbow.
Another offensive rebound there.
May have mistimed his leap a little on that one.
He did.
And they're going to say it's off of UMBC. Let's take a look. Oh, here's the Kennedy bucket.
Nice little step back move there. As you said, very good mid-range player, because he can put it on the floor and just shoot over you.
Kennedy with 4 for UMBC. Here's Hall now, feeling it from 3. This one is off.
Well, Wojcik got out there and got a hand out at him. He didn't deflect it, but he put his hand up in his face at 6'9".
And that is off UMass Lowell in the corner. And so it'll be UMBC basketball. Anthony Blunt, the younger brother of Alan Blunt, has checked in. A 6'2" sophomore from Crownsville, Maryland. About 20 miles south of here. And here's Johnson now in the front court with the Retrievers trailing by 3. UMBC has made it to 4 straight America East Conference semifinals. The last time they were knocked out in the quarters was in Ryan Odom's first year, back in 2017.
Lost in overtime at New Hampshire.
And here's Owens for 3, the top 3-point shooter in the conference, with a miss. Here's Quentin Mincy, who's just checked in the lineup.
Nice move there, going left, shooting right in the lane.
Transfer from Mount St. Mary's gives UMass Lowell the 5-point lead. Mincy's first 2 this afternoon.
This game is at UMBC's pace, even though they're down 5. They like an up tempo, as we know. team perfectly capable of scoring 90.
Wojcik now gives up the dribble over to Kennedy. Wojcik has come on strong for UMBC last few games. Here's Kennedy for three.
And again, as you're a coach over there on the sideline, you can't say that much. Well guarded, he just nails it.
55th three-pointer for Kennedy this year. He's got such a good mid-range game, John. Sometimes you forget about his three-point game.
Well, you've made the point, Jim Ferry's made the point throughout the season that he can beat you inside, mid-range, and outside. There aren't that many players who can do that. Most players are one or two-dimensional offensively. He's three.
2 to shoot here for UMass Lowell. Turnaround by Blunt is good. Alec Blunt continues now with 12.
Again, you wonder how he wasn't on one of the first 3 teams all league.
10.9 points per game, 32 minutes a game. He is a player for UMass Lowell. And the Riverhawks lead it by 4. 11:20 left in the first. There's Kennedy. Gets a screen from Wojcik, and the tip from Wojcik goes.
Alert play there by Wojcik, using his quickness around the basket.
Wojcik has the ability to explode, as you well know. Had 22 against Vermont on this floor.
And they've got 8 and 9 minutes from their 2 centers.
Straightaway 3 is short off rim and glass. That one from Mincy. UMBC gets the stop. Oh, nice move by Kennedy. All the way to the basket. Hesitation, no. Wojcik, offensive glass, it goes.
This is the offense right now. Kennedy shoots, Wojcik rebounds.
This is what Patrick Kent was talking about. UMBC, you got to keep them off the offensive glass.
Well, and the same thing is true for UMBC with Mass Lowell. You've got to keep them off the offensive glass. It might be at the end of the game, we look at the stat, and the team with more offensive rebounds and finishes ends up winning the game.
Kick it back outside with 10 to shoot. Three-pointer short. Wojcik the rebound. And he's starting to control the game underneath for UMBC. Owens now open for 3. Wing got it. 3-point lead for the Retrievers, reversing a 5-point deficit.
And Patrick Kent's going to... Dwayne Gladden forgot to come over here and tell us.
Oh, so we're getting word now. It was a UMass Lowell 3 they were looking at from earlier, and I guess it stood. So 25-22. Indeed is the score. Riverhawks with the ball. Hakeem inside. Quick layup over Obeng Mensah, who checked back in. Got fouled, and Hakeem will go to the line.
Hakeem is so quick that one reason why Pat Duquette likes the matchup with Rogers, because he's so quick that he thinks he can stay in front of Rogers. We'll see. There you see Binghamton and New Hampshire tied. NJIT and Vermont starting at the top of the hour, as is Albany and Hartford.
The Wildcats are the 3rd seed, and Binghamton is the 6th seed. The free throw by Hakeem is no good. Dmitry Spasievich, the graduate forward from Serbia, checks in, and Yao Obeng Mensah sits down. Also, Alan Blunt now back in the game for UMass Lowell.
Spasievich has played much better the last few games, especially on the offensive end. That hit the rim 7 times and went in.
Finds its way in. It's a 2-point game. For Spasievich, he had 8 points against Maine in 7 minutes. And then only had 2 points the other night against Binghamton, but had a block, a rebound, a steal.
He gave him a big emotional lift.
No doubt.
In the Binghamton game. Because he plays with a lot of intensity.
Retrievers with 10 to shoot. Rogers inside. Going to want to make him a finisher. And he walked.
Again, that's where Hakeem's quickness comes into play, because he was a little off balance, forced to go to his right. He prefers going to his left, and there you see that right foot drag before he got the shot off.
Yep, little skid. First turnover for UMBC comes 10 minutes into the game.
Yeah, that's what Jim Ferry likes. The goal is to be in single digits.
Which is the key to the game here today, John, because UMass Lowell forces the most turnovers per game, and they lead the conference in steals. So this is a team that gets its hand out and plays defense, and Hakeem with the 3, and the Riverhawks are back in the lead.
Threes are not usually his forte, but he can make them. Everybody in college basketball can make them these days. It's like Jim Valvano said when the three-point line first came in. It's since moved back some. He said, I don't want to say the line's close, but my mom came to practice the other day and made 9 out of 10.
Here's Kennedy, 10 to shoot inside the lane. Rogers for 3.
Give him room. with that left-handed shot.
And Darnell Rogers now 8 points on 2 of 3 from downtown. All the way to the basket for Thomas. That one won't go. One and done.
I think Thomas was surprised there was no help.
Kennedy the other way for the Retrievers. Kennedy pulls it up, backs it home.
I think Pat Duquette thought that was a walk too, but in today's NCAA world, you're never going to get 2 walks called on back-to-back possessions. Not going to happen.
Been a game of mini runs here. Retrievers took the lead at 7-0. And UMass Lowell came back 5-0. Now Retrievers on a mini run 5-0. 10 to shoot. Up top, Blunt hasn't missed yet today. Goes inside. Floater is no good. Tip is no good. And Spazojevich collects it. Rogers looking to penetrate.
He's not that good going right on the drive. Very good going left.
Now they feed the post. Spazojevich faces the basket. The floater goes.
He's a brand new player offensively these last 3 games. Those are shots he was missing all the time early in the season.
Largest lead for UMBC right now, 32-26.
Pat Duquette needs the TV timeout because he's already used his use it or lose it timeout. Doesn't want to take another.
Next dead ball, that'll happen. Here's Brooks back in the game, picked up by Spazojevich. Blunt with a screen over Bunyasith.
Yeah,
missed
he
2 in a
had
row.
the screen, but Bunyasith came in there and distracted the shot.
Again, you won't see it in the box score, but that's a big play.
Yep.
Kennedy.
Look what it leads to.
Pat Duquette still has hands on hips, won't call the timeout.
Pat Duquette may tell his players to throw the ball out of bounds to get a stoppage.
8-point lead for UMBC. Hakeem with Rogers, pull up, baseline goes.
That was a tough shot. Falling away, good shot. Usually when I say tough shot, I mean bad shot, but that was a good shot.
Into Hakeem with 6, had 20 the last time these two met, along with 6 assists. Rogers.
Hakeem keeping him in front of him, but you can't stop him. You can only hope to contain him.
4 for Spazojevich.
Apologies to Dan Patrick there.
Yeah, that's way back, John.
Mold. So's Dan.
8-point lead, 6:15 left. Hakeem enters over Spazojevich.
Yeah, that was a nice move. 2 nice moves there by Hakeem. Critical baskets for the Riverhawks there.
Yeah, he used the left the first time and used the right on this time. Rogers, that one's short.
Hakeem got out on him there.
Brooks boxes out Spazojevich. And the Riverhawks get a stop.
I think it's going to be the Longwood Lancers, coached by former UMBC assistant and former attorney,
That's right.
Griff Aldridge. They lead 62-34 against Winthrop with about 12 minutes left. What a great story that is.
It really is. Gave up a huge, like a big law job.
He took about a $750,000 a year pay cut to come here and work for Ryan Odom, who was his college roommate.
Wojcik keeps it alive, 10 to shoot. Bunyasith, that won't go. Rebound Blunt.
Went to Virginia Law School, and the president of Longwood, also a Virginia Law School grad. And after the upset of Virginia in 2018, he hired Griff Aldridge. They were coming off a 7-win year. First time ever they'll be in postseason in D1.
What a pass underneath from Kennedy.
Great pass, great catch by Wojcik, because that was a hard throw.
And Wojcik converts for UMBC.
Unless I've got it wrong, the 3 centers for UMBC have 16 points so far.
I think you're right about that. All 3 contributing. Wojcik, Obeng-Mensah, Spazojevich.
8, 6, and 4. So that would be 18, actually. No, 6, 6, and 4.
Alan Blunt continues shooting from outside. Another 3-pointer.
Good thing he made their flight.
Blunt now with 15. He's got 3 3-pointers for the game. Alan Blunt had only 29 all season, less than 1 per game.
By the way, they had to get up at 5:15 yesterday morning to get on 2 different flights to get here.
Oh, Wojcik on the return, and he throws it down.
That's now 18, and Pat Duquette is furious with his team's defense right now.
Wojcik so active, John, 4 for 4.
Give and goes like that should not result in open dunks if you're playing good defense.
Hakeem step back, rebound Kennedy. Retriever's going to push it.
I'm saying that UMass Lowell all had to get up at 5:15 to catch 2 flights because they didn't know till Thursday night where they were going until they beat Hartford.
Right, they couldn't get the flight that they really wanted.
Exactly.
Wojcik outside, that is to the right, and Adam Haynes with 2, Anthony Lamb with 2, and now Davis with 2.
And deservedly so in each case. Jim Ferry deserved some consideration given the way he turned his team around, but 17-1, winning the conference by 6 games, for crying out loud.
Yeah, you're going to get that.
No-brainer.
The pass inside from Everett Hammond to John Hall goes awry.
Pat Duquette thought that went off somebody's knee, and he's not happy. Remember, he got teed up in the game here, and that was really a turning point. They were down 5 at the time and ended up winning the game with 2.5, down 5 with 2.5 to go.
That's the 3rd turnover now for the Riverhawks. The Retrievers have committed just 1.
Good hands there by Hakeem.
Hakeem, one of the leading steals per game in the conference. 7 to shoot now in the hands of Kennedy. Kennedy says, I'll take it.
I was going to say, guess who's going to shoot? Missed one.
Side of the rim.
That's his first miss since his first shot of the game.
Boy, Hakeem gets up in a hurry, doesn't he?
Yes, he does, just like Rogers.
Thomas, corner 3 miss. And Kennedy tries to slip by Hammond. Wojcik will take. Wojcik is fouled on the way to the basket.
He's a hard guard for a big guy because he's so quick and long.
Take a look at Wojcik here on the baseline.
Again, they gave him the baseline, which is always a mistake. And he'd have dunked it if he hadn't been fouled.
Committing the foul is Khalil Thomas. That's his 2nd. You see the foul situation here. Mass Lowell has committed 5, Retrievers 2.
And fouls are an important situation here because Mass Lowell lacks depth because 2 of their starters are out for the season. Justin Faison, who was the starting point guard for the first 15 games, and Connor Withers, who only played 2 games, and he's over there still in a boot. Pat Duquette told me he thought that they'd get him back. They thought he'd come back before the season was over, but the injury to his leg still hasn't healed. He will get an extra year.
And you'll remember last year it was Connor Withers who had a American East Conference record 9 3-pointers in the semifinal.
And he made about 4 all season. He just kept making threes.
Here's Blunt, turnaround, and draws the foul. Alan Blunt will go to the line.
Actually, there was a semi-funny moment before the game. Connor Withers was out here in his boot, just kind of shooting around the way players will do when they can't play. And he took a shot and it got stuck between the rim and the backboard. He couldn't jump to get the ball.
Somebody had to roll out a ball.
Yeah, one of the assistant coaches came out and gave him the ball.
Blunt at the line. Free throw is no good.
Again, this team shoots under 70% from the free throw line, and if they're going to win today, they're going to have to be better than that.
And Blunt for the season under 68%.
Close to what the team shoots.
1 of 2 for Alan Blunt, and that trims the deficit now to 8. UMBC had it to as many as 9 earlier in the game. The Retrievers still shooting 60.7% from the field. There's Spazievich now. On Hall, Spazievich.
Oh, he cannot miss. You can't stop him. You can only hope to control him, and they're not. 3 for 3.
That's 6 for Spazievich. He's got 16 points in his last 3 games off the bench.
What a boost for the Retrievers to have him become an offensive weapon.
All for 3.
As you mentioned earlier, he's not really a three-point shooter.
Now, Rogers gets the rebound, but the dirty work was done by Johnson underneath.
He does a lot of dirty work.
Keeping Blunt away. Look at this. Spazievich couldn't handle it.
Well, he got doubled. He got the ball knocked away.
That's turnover number 2. Hammond drives baseline on Owen. Spazievich there.
Good defense by Spazievich, forcing an in-close air ball.
And Johnson collects it for UMBC. Less than 1:30 now left in the first half. A blistering pace here, just the way the Retrievers like it. And the official says touched by UMass Lowell, so no turnover.
Pat Duquette gave the official a nod. Yeah, you got it right. I would have liked it if you got it wrong.
Blunt gets a hand on it, finally into the hands of Thomas. The reverse is no good. Blunt the offensive rebound.
And that's good hustle by Blunt following Thomas down the court.
18 first half points for Alan Blunt, whose career high was 23 against Maine.
He's got half his team's points right now.
What a performance, but still the Retrievers, you know, it's not a one-man game. They lead it by 8.
They should be able to go 2 for 1 here with the clock.
10 to shoot.
They're taking a lot of time.
Rogers now going to set it up, break down his man, goes to the basket, can't finish.
He was surprised he got to the basket that easily.
Hakeem, good ball. Up ahead for Thomas.
It isn't always the right play, but in that situation, I think it was.
Well, 341 career wins for Jim Ferry, so he obviously
I only trail him by 341.
has a handle on it. And here, Rogers now will, guess, get it under 10, right? Here we go, 10 seconds now to go.
See if they go pick and roll or try to throw it back. No, offensive foul. I think it's a moving screen on Spazievich. No,
Call it on Rogers.
It's on Rogers. I'd like to see that. I'm not saying it didn't happen, but he did get that left elbow up, but it was fairly incidental contact, I thought. Dwayne Gladden's a better ref than I am, just as Jim Ferry's a better coach than I am. Although Jim Ferry at this moment thinks I'm a better ref. He's arguing with Adam Vandenberg, but Adam Vandenberg didn't make the call. Dwayne Gladden made the call. Here you see the left arm come, he got it kind of on his neck. That's probably why they called, but it was pretty incidental contact. I don't think he was going to knock him down, put it that way.
Well,
5 seconds.
Lowell has a chance here. Thomas for 3 in the corner, it's long. Hakeem at the buzzer, and that one won't go. Ball in for the Retrievers. There's L.J. Owens, top 3-point shooter in the conference, as the Retrievers start second half play. And again, I mentioned right at the top of the halftime that the Retrievers have had the halftime lead against UMass Lowell twice in 2 games this year, have lost both times.
Yep. And that's why if you're in the locker room when you're UMass Lowell, you know Pat Duquette's pointing that out.
Nice take to the basket, but no go for Hammond. Offensive rebound, Blunt.
Quick offensive rebound.
Here's Hakeem all the way to the basket.
That's his quickness there.
He got by Obang Mensah, no help. And Hakeem puts it in. It's a 4-point game now. Some pressure from Hakeem. And Obang Mensah takes it past midcourt.
Hakeem's one of the few point guards in this league who can even try to pressure Darnell Rogers.
Into Hakeem, a transfer from LaSalle, played 40 games for the Explorers. This is his first season now in the blue with UMass Lowell.
He still has 2 more years of eligibility. Which, good news if you're Pat Duquette.
Owens behind the screen when Obang Mensah scores. And that's a 3-pointer for L.J. Owens. That's his first today. Second, excuse me.
He only missed by 1.
50-50 ball, you know? And for the season now, Owens with 64 3-pointers, the most in a single season for him in his career. Blunt continues over Johnson. He's got 20.
Usually when guys have big first halves, they cool off in the second. We'll see if Blunt does. Certainly didn't right away there. Nathan Johnson, by the way, hasn't scored, which if I were Pat Duquette would concern me. Neither is Jacob Bunyasith, and they're usually a very potent combination.
Owens open from 3. That one off the heel of the basket. Offensive rebound for Obang Mensah. Kennedy for 3.
If at first you don't succeed, try again.
Kennedy now 14. Retrievers are 46% from 3. In this 13-game run that we talk about, the 10-3 finish for UMBC, as a team, 43% from outside.
Right, and if you shoot 40, that's outstanding, because that's the equivalent of shooting 60 for 2.
Hakeem inside over Obang Mensah. And you know, the key to that, John, and we've seen it all season long, is the penetration and the kick out. And that's what the Retrievers do.
And Jim Ferry harped on that right through that losing streak in January, that they were taking too many quick shots from outside, that the ball needed to touch the paint. Tough shot there by Owens.
Good touch by Owens to get that one in. And it's an 8-point lead for the Retrievers. Owens now with 10.
And they come out hot just as they were in the first half. 15 minutes in the locker room, didn't slow them down. That's a bad pass.
Brooks, an overhead pass intended for Hammond along the sideline. Turnover number 4 for the Riverhawks.
Again, very low turnover game. Four turnovers for UMBC, 3 for Lowell in the first half.
Now Hammond comes out of the game, and Quentin Mincy, the sophomore transfer from Mount St. Mary's, checks in.
Didn't have to go very far.
Rogers.
To get to here.
It's an 11-point lead.
3 threes for Rogers.
Largest lead of the afternoon for UMBC. And watching. This is a two-pointer here from Thomas.
That's more his game than the three-point shot.
So Khalil Thomas now with 4 for the game. He's just 2 for 7 from the field. The retriever 7 for 14 from distance, 50%. That was a tough pass, tough catch.
3 out of 4 here in the second half, but they got the offensive rebound and scored anyway on the miss.
Double move by Hakeem, tries to find Brooks inside, too much traffic.
Yeah, he got too much traffic there, tried to pass out of the double team, but no such luck.
Rogers with Thomas. Will go to the basket.
And they made him go right. Make him go right. He's not nearly as effective.
Yeah, that's the key. Thomas, little step back 3.
He is from Long Island, but and the Islanders did beat the Blues yesterday.
I don't think that was the call, though. You're right. That's 2 fouls now on Rogers. And he takes a seat here for UMBC. Jacob Bunyas is checked back in. Here's Mincy inside the lane. That won't go.
They've missed a lot of good looks at the basket.
And Johnson gets fouled underneath.
Yeah. And there have not been many fouls called in this game. That's only the second team foul of this half. God bless the officials. And they only called 10 total in the first half. As I said on the first play of the game, it's playoff basketball. They're going to let him play. They're only going to call it when they think it really affected the play, and I like that.
Now, the significance of that foul, though, was that was number 3 on Max Brooks.
And that's very significant.
Because
they're not rallying unless he can get going.
John Hall comes in.
Good pass again.
Give and go for Wojcik. Wojcik working hard. Hall with a block.
Nice play by Hall.
5 seconds on the shot clock. Bunyasith trying to break down his man. Spins in the lane. Bunyasith.
He's fearless. He has a great sense of the clock. He's so good when he gets in the lane. And by the way, what saved that play, even though he's got his shot block, was Wojcik's catch.
Bunyasith has been a hero for UMBC down the stretch. Here's Hakeem now for 2. Bunyasith had 16 in the first half in the game against Maine, and then got the start when Rogers and Kennedy, he and Matteo Piccarelli started.
Yep.
And was huge in the first half of that game. All game.
Had 20, didn't he?
Yeah, 20, yep.
Yeah.
In a 10-point win over Binghamton. Johnson now 10 to shoot.
That's a great thing about Johnson. He never forces a shot.
Owens, great move, crossover. Owens to the basket, it won't go.
Got fouled, almost finished anyway.
Talk about fearless with Bunyasith, and you're absolutely right. But Owens has shown us a lot to the basket this year, too.
Oh, yeah. And you saw it there, gets double teamed and fouled, got sandwiched. And I'm just going to say, if they can't get more guys other than Hakeem and Blunt to score, they're not going to win this game because UMBC has too many weapons.
That's the first foul on John Hall. The second on UMass Lowell. Again, UMBC, the top free throw shooting team in the conference. 11th in the country. And the free throw by Owens is good.
Looks like the aforementioned Matteo Piccarelli is going to get in the game for the first time here.
2 for 2 for Owens. The Retrievers are a perfect 6 for 6 from the free throw line.
Is that redundant?
A perfect 6 for 6? Yeah, probably.
Okay, just checking. Yeah. My favorite redundancy, as you know, is student athlete. Because by rule, you have to be a student to be a college athlete. And Freeman Rabowski, as you remember, agreed with me the other night. He kept saying students.
A block from behind here by Bunyasith, but a foul called as well.
I almost parked in his spot today because he has 2. And there were no spots in the parking lot. And I was awfully tempted.
I'll tell you a funny story about that in a minute. As you see the foul there. It's called on Bunyasith. That'll bring Blunt to the line. I actually parked in Freeman's spot one time.
And lived to tell about it?
Well, but I moved because then I saw Freeman behind me.
Probably a good play.
I'm not doing that.
Probably a good play. He does have 2 spots, though.
He does.
You know what? He's entitled.
But just in case, I wasn't going to take
that's
up
why
one of them.
Both his spots were empty when I got here, and I wasn't taking any chances either.
Alan Blunt, who basically can't miss today, has 22. He's 8 of 10 from the field, 3 of 4 from the line. And he's got 22 of UMass Lowell's 50.
One of the other nice things about Bunyasith is when Rogers is out, he can take over the point and do just fine.
Johnson now, all the way to the basket. That rejected by Mincy.
2 blocks in the last few possessions from Mincy.
Hakeem says, let's go. Hakeem again in traffic, this time for Hall, out of bounds off UMBC.
Might have been an overpass there by Hakeem, but
take a look at Hall here.
See Johnson goes to the basket.
Or I should say Mincy.
And Mincy, clean block. You don't see Johnson get his shot blocked all that often. He hung on to it.
That was a nice recovery by Mincy.
Very nice, and it was a clean block.
Up and under, hard work, and it pays off for Anthony Blunt, the younger brother of Alan Blunt.
So the Blunt family now has 24, sort of like Henry and Tommy Aaron, who combined for 763 home runs, 755 by Hank. Boy, that was a touch foul.
Wouldn't go quite that far on the analogy, but your point is well taken.
You know, it's like I can't remember who was the backup center for the Bulls who played at UCLA. Called his mother after a game on 96. She said, how'd it go? And he said, Mom, Michael Jordan and I combined for 63. She said, really? And he said, yeah, Jordan had 61.
Yeah.
I wish I could remember his name.
Backup center. It wasn't Will Perdue, was it?
No. Will Perdue was a better player than
he was
that.
a good player.
And he didn't go to UCLA.
Right.
He went to Vanderbilt, I think.
I think you're right. He certainly didn't go to Purdue, did he?
No. Different spelling, just FYI.
Rogers for UMBC back in the game with the 2 fouls. Wojcik inside, catches and takes it to the basket.
Again, set up by his hands, his ability to reach for the pass.
They had a double team on him. They couldn't stop him. Let's take a look.
Watch where this pass is thrown, knowing Wojcik can make the catch. And he catches it and gets in the lane and gets fouled.
The help comes from Blunt. Then the foul is on Blunt.
It's when your guards know you can throw the ball to a certain place and your big guy will catch it. And he'll make free throws.
That is a big part of his game. You know, Wojcik has played significantly less minutes than Owens, Kennedy, Rogers, etc. But he's right up there with free throw attempts.
And I don't do all those silly stats like they do in baseball. What's it called again?
Not
wins. War, no, but the overall.
Oh, just the sabermetrics of it?
Whatever.
Yeah.
There's a word that I'm forgetting. But anyway, I'll bet you he's as good as anybody on this team points per minute.
Oh, there's no doubt. Here's Mincy now on the offensive end. Little turnaround.
Good defense there.
Bunyasith holds his ground and creates the turnover.
Just stood up with his hands up and no chance. And again, that could have been an offensive foul. But watch Bunyasith here. The ball just goes up off his chest. He's got his hands straight up in the air.
And that's what Jim Ferry preaches, hands-up defense. And that's why the Retrievers have committed among the least fouls in the country. In fact, they've made more free throws than their opponents have attempted. Give and go. Wojcik.
Again, good catch by Wojcik.
He is a difference maker.
Got more catches today than Jerry Rice at his peak. See, up in the air, and there you see the foul. I thought it might have been before the shot. 15 foul on Lowell. They're having a lot of trouble with Wojcik inside.
It's a 9-point lead for the Retrievers as Wojcik goes to the line again. And we've mentioned this before on the broadcast. He's got good genes.
Yeah, his dad only played professionally for 24 years.
In Poland, won a couple of championships. And again, and I've said this before, I don't care where you play, how you play, who you play. You play for 24 years.
You're doing something right.
Professional level.
Oh, we missed one. We jinxed him. I'm going to blame you.
I'll allow it.
Announcer's jinx. But no, his dad was obviously a very good player. I don't really want to talk about Poland today after what happened in Cameron Indoor Stadium last night. Winning team deserved to win, the losing team deserved to lose, as Krzyzewski pointed out after the game.
Alan Blunt with the miss. UMBC gets the stop. Rogers back in the game.
Like I said, the Islanders had a good day.
And that's what really matters.
That's
right?
what really mattered.
Kennedy. 10 to shoot. Hall playing nicely off the screen. Kennedy floater.
That's a shot he often makes.
That was a good matchup, Kennedy and Hall. They actually slapped 5.
Yeah, Kennedy gave Hall a 5 going down, saying nice job.
Absolutely. Again, Max Brooks out of the game. Sorry, John, 3 fouls. John Hall will see some time.
Question is, how long
Allen
can't leave him out. I'll bet he'll be back in the next TV timeout. He's at the table, but not at the scorer spot right now.
Allen Blunt continues to keep UMass Lowell in the game. 8-point difference with 11 minutes left to go. Rogers. Thought he was going to try to find Wojcik again.
Wouldn't have been a bad move as it turned out.
There's Blunt again, this time with Kennedy. Sport Mincy tried to step in, but Wojcik denies him.
They have overpassed on the interior on a number of occasions, especially here in the second half.
Bunyasith, he'll drive. Bunyasith!
He can make that shot a lot.
He's fearless, he's got patience.
He's good.
He is good. Bunyasith off the bench today with 4 points, 2 rebounds, and assist.
Good defense. Didn't score in the first half.
Mincy for 3. Owens the rebound. A chance for the Retrievers to add on to the 10-point lead.
On 11-0 early and ended up with a 17-point lead before hanging on to win by 4.
Yeah, that's a pitcher's duel over there, no doubt.
Guess the rims in that gym are tough.
Either that or the starters have their curveballs working. Here's Thomas all the way to the basket over Spasievich. A little late getting there.
A little late, but smart, not fouling.
It's an 8-point lead here for UMBC. Thomas now with 6 on the game, 3 of 9 from the field. Five fouls against UMass Lowell here in the half. UMBC with 3. We just sit now over to Johnson with 10 to shoot. Cougars pacer here now in the hands of Rogers. He'll launch it, deep 3. Rogers!
I was about to say, he can make that shot. Unguarded, he can make it almost out to midcourt.
That's a 27-foot three-pointer, the 4th three-pointer for Rogers today.
You think him being in the lineup makes a difference? And Kennedy?
It's possible.
Yeah, I suspect.
Brooks
nice
for
move
2
there.
as he's back in the game with 3 fouls.
As I said, they brought him back in at the TV timeout, and he's going to need to warm up here for Lowell to have any chance to rally. Of course, Lowell is used to rallying in this gym.
And right around this time in the game, too, Spasievich on the return from Rogers. They double quickly. Spasievich keeps it alive. Johnson, up and in!
And typical Nathan Johnson hasn't scored for 31.5 minutes. Gets in there and grabs what was basically an air ball by Spasievich. Gets over there on the weak side, grabs the rebound, gets fouled, and just turns around and says, just doing my job, ma'am.
If you don't watch the games, he does so much you don't see.
Well, yeah, that's true.
If you don't
watch the games, you're not going to see it, right?
And he completes the 3-point
I think what
play.
you meant to say is if you don't watch carefully, he does a lot you don't see.
Well, I'm saying if you're only going to follow on the box, you're not going to see what he's doing.
That's a good point.
That's what I was trying to say.
Okay, you got it. We tend to parse words pretty carefully, as you know.
Really? Hadn't picked up on that in 6 years.
Not at all. Now, a lot of guys up in the air for that rebound, but Johnson grabs it.
There you go. 12-point lead for UMBC, coming up on 8 minutes left in the game.
So nice when a player makes the announcers look smarter than they are.
Bunyasith. Spasievich with a tip. Blunt. Quickly ahead. Mincy. Correction. Paddock.
Well, as he should have been. And Pat, of course, part of a group of brothers who've all been very influential in sports. Brother Jim, nice pass there on the inbounds. Former GM of the New York Mets is sitting 8 rows up, watching intently. Got a chance to talk to him at halftime. And Brother Dan, of course, was former general manager of both the Expos and the Red Sox. They're a Massachusetts family. 5 brothers all together.
Dan also right here in Baltimore with the Orioles.
And with the Orioles, that's correct.
So Brooks.
It's about the last time they were good.
Yep.
It was Dan and Buck Showalter.
Rogers all the way to the
deflection. Again.
That's Brooks' first block, but it was Hakeem who couldn't handle the pass.
And Brooks just said, yep, that was me.
Oh, that's a big turnaround.
Huge. They'd have had the ball down 10. Instead, it was just a mistake by Brooks, who really has not had a particularly good game. And that's what Pat Duquette told me yesterday is we need a good game from Brooks, and there he answers with 2.
Now, Keandre Kennedy, here's a story. Look at this. After that last run back from the 3, Keandre Kennedy, who, as you know, missed the Binghamton game.
And that was a leg injury. It looks like he's holding his hip. It also looks like he's going right to the locker room. So that's not the best sign in the world at all.
So Mark
didn't go to the locker room. He just went to the little alleyway there and being examined by the trainer.
So mark it at 6:50. Kennedy comes off the floor with the Retrievers on top by 11. And into the basketball game for Kennedy is Bunyasin. Wojcik, Rogers, and throws it out of bounds.
It went off of Wojcik's hands, which doesn't happen often.
Let's take a look at the Kennedy situation.
Driving to the basket there, and it looked like when he tried to plant to turn around, that's when he got hurt. So maybe it's his leg. It looked like he was holding his hip area to me, Gary, coming off, but it looked like it happened. Oh, that's going to be an offensive foul, no question.
No doubt about that.
Darnell Rogers got sandwiched. He's a tough kid, so he's fine, but that was an easy call for Nathan Farrell.
When Rogers gets sandwiched, I worry about the other 2 guys.
Seriously, he is built so powerfully.
Solid.
As I've said before, reminds me a little bit with his build of Tyrone Boakes, who was 5'3", but built like a fire hydrant. He's not as big as Boakes, but he's built powerfully. He's lucky not to turn it over there.
Good hands from Thomas, and a foul call here on Brooks. That'll be number 4.
And Pat Duquette does not agree with Dwayne Gladden on that call. There was contact. But again, coaches should be used to this because the officials are told. We've got the great Frank Scagliotta sitting next to us taking intent notes on the officials.
Is he?
Yeah. Look,
yeah, he is.
Yeah,
you're right.
I'm not making that up. And the way they advance in the NCAA or to the NCAA tournament, I think Dwayne Gladden's been in the last 14, is by doing what the NCAA wants. And they want contact called. They want scoring up and contact called and traveling not called.
Well, that's a major turn of events here. I don't think you're going to take Brooks out, trailing by 10 plus.
You can't, 6:09 left.
But now UMBC in the bonus for the rest of the way. They're the best free throw shooting team in the conference.
And that was the first of the 3 1-and-1s they might have to shoot. And Bunyasin's made them both.
Lead is up to 13 now with 6 minutes to go. Hakeem spinning.
That's his quickness. He scores. You don't see many guys just go by Rogers like that, but he can do that. And now Lowell trying to pressure a little bit, and Owens comes back to help.
That's 16 for Ayinda Hakeem.
Retrievers not only have good free throw shooters, they've got a bunch of guys who can handle the ball against pressure.
40 of the 64 for Mass Lowell have come from Hakeem and Blunt.
And that's been their problem, that they haven't gotten more help.
Wojcik over Brooks won't go. Rebound Thomas.
That's got to be something.
Offensive.
Yep. And
Bunyasin pops back up.
Yeah, Thomas not happy with that because I'm not sure Bunyasin was set, but he created the contact. Yeah, Bunyasin wasn't set, but the contact was created by Thomas. But I think that call could have gone either way.
I agree.
Because he was moving. And Pat Duquette does not think the call could have gone either way. Starts to get very serious for Lowell here. They're a great comeback team, but
good hands there underneath by Alan Blunt.
Nathan Johnson looking at his hands saying, what the heck happened there?
That is a strong move to the basket by Hammond.
It's the foul.
He'll go to the line, stops the clock with 5:12 to go in the game.
Pat Duquette putting his hands over his mouth so Nathan Farrell can't hear what he's saying. Walks away, Nathan Farrell. Yeah, that's another thing good officials do. They stand there, they listen, they let the coaches have their say, and then they just keep officiating. I once got threatened with a technical by Jim Burr. You remember Jim Burr?
Yeah, I do.
Great ref. Worked, I don't know, 12, 13 Final Fours, but he was a little bit of a hothead. And I was sitting on the Bucknell bench when I was working on the last amateurs. I was sitting on the end of the bench. They were playing at Penn State. Tie game. And a ref named Zelton Steed, also a good official, called a foul on a Bucknell kid who was 3 feet away from the Penn State player. Critical moment. Makes both. Pat Flannery calls timeout for Bucknell. I'm standing on the edge of the huddle. Burr's right there, and I know Burr. I said, Jim, you know he missed that one. There's no contact at all. He said, John, you want to get teed up and have this game be over? I said, nice to see you, Jim.
What you said? Good dish.
As I was on the bench, you could have teed me up, technically speaking.
Right, you would have been responsibility of the team.
Pat Flannery would not have been my biggest fan.
Nice defense here by UMass Lowell. That's in trouble.
Oh my God. Practice. See if they go deep to Nathan Johnson and try to screen down low.
Owens off balance.
That was an air ball, 30 seconds.
And so it is a violation against UMBC. That'll be the 10th turnover on the Retrievers in the game.
And that's 6.5.
So Kennedy not back on the floor, but looking like he's in better spirits.
Well, the fact that he's upstanding and not being treated is a good sign for UMBC.
Here's one baseline cut off by Wojcik. Now comes low block and draws the foul.
Non-shooting foul. It's the 6th for UMBC, so they'll inbound. And by the way, we will get one more TV timeout because of that lovely NCAA rule where the first called timeout of the half becomes a full.
That foul was on Nathan Johnson. 2 personals on Johnson.
Nice pass. Nice
And
block.
Johnson rejects it.
Nice pass, better block.
Watch it here. Nathan Johnson doing the little things.
They run a really nice inbounds play here. See the screen? And Johnson comes and helps and blocks it out of bounds.
That's exactly how you break out of that screen. Spin around, and Hakeem on the other side with a baseline jumper.
Hakeem and Blunt have both been very good. For UMass Lowell, that's pretty much the list.
Well, they're keeping UMass Lowell in the game. It's only a 7-point lead with 4 minutes to play.
This team really never dies, does it?
Rogers cut off on the baseline by Hakeem. 10 to shoot.
Nice screen for Unysis, sets up a drive. That's a deep 3. Wow, that was really deep for Owens, even for a good 3-point shooter. But he had to shoot it with a shot clock there. It's good defense by Lowell. They score here, we got a ball game.
Hammond all the way to the basket.
We got a ball game.
It's a 2-possession game with 3:34 to go.
Which is
and
forever.
you know the history here.
And so do the players on both teams, more importantly. My knowing the history doesn't really matter.
75-70, 3:20 left. Unyasif in trouble. Wojcik won't go.
Wojcik made a nice catch but couldn't finish.
Hakeem.
Timeout Jim Ferry.
And they led by 9 with 5:51 left.
Led by 5 with 2 minutes left.
And Hakeem, of course, the length of the floor buzzer beater, a 2-point win for UMass Lowell. Here we go now, 3 minutes to go. UMBC with the basketball and the lead. LJ Owens dribbles through, now spinning, low block, gets it to go!
That was a tough move. And by the way, worth noting, Keandre Kennedy's back on the court.
Kennedy is on the floor, and LJ Owens will be at the line.
LJ Owens was just determined to get a shot up here and does a great spin move, great fake, draws the foul, makes the shot. Critical moment in the game for UMBC.
And how about UMBC not settling for a 3 there and really attacking the basket?
Well, that's good coaching coming out of a timeout. I'm sure Jim Ferry said, look, if there's an open 3, go ahead and take it, but we don't need a 3, God knows, up when you're still ahead. And there's a pause here for a sub.
That
was the 5th foul. That was the 5th foul.
5 fouls on Thomas.
And that's why there was a break there. Again, another silly rule.
And keep in mind, Max Brooks has 4.
Yep.
So Thomas will sit down. He's done for the day. Anthony Blunt checks in. Thomas, 6 points today, 3 of 9 from the field, 31 minutes, 3-point play by Owens.
And again, remember I mentioned early in the game that free throw shooting might be critical coming down the stretch. UMBC shoots 2 the rest of the way. Still only 6 fouls on the Retrievers.
And UMBC 13 of 14 from the line today.
Wow.
4 assists. Another great game for him against UMBC. But right now, the Retrievers with a 2-possession lead and the basketball.
And they've got it right in the hands of who they want it, Rogers, for ball handling and free throw shooting.
And what a battle that's been today, John. Rogers and Hakeem.
As we thought it would be.
And here it is, Rogers with Hakeem, 10 to shoot.
Got to go left, but didn't force it, and Johnson lost a good defense there.
Max Brooks with the deflection. Hakeem past Rogers. It's a 4-point game with 2 minutes to go.
And that's Hakeem's quickness. As I said, there may not be another point guard in the league who can match Rogers' quickness.
And now pressure from Hakeem.
Critical possession for both teams here. That's kind of redundant, but nevertheless, 1:45 to play.
No timeouts left for UMBC.
Right, 3 left for Lowell.
Rogers. And he's going to try to chase it down, and he does.
He does. That was a long rebound, and nobody from Lowell was able to get a hand on it. Now they're going to just use some clock here before they shoot a clock. Shot clock at 8, game clock 1:21.
Rogers gets a screen from Wojcik, 3. They leave him
That's
open.
going in. Nope, I was wrong again.
Hakeem.
I thought when he created that opening, he was going to make that shot. That's a block.
Blocking foul call on Owens, who was moving.
Yeah, no doubt.
And this will send UMass Lowell to the line for 1-1.
It's only the 7th foul on UMBC. Looked to me like there was movement there. And a major upset, the fans don't agree.
First foul on Owens. Hammond at the line. Everett Hammond, an 84% free throw shooter coming in.
Those numbers don't matter at this moment. Now they matter.
It's a 3-point game.
Too close, too much time left to try to run the clock out. UMass Lowell does not need to foul. They need to guard, regardless of whether he makes this shot or not. And now here with Owens and get it ultimately into Rogers' hands. First they throw to Wojcik, who's also a great free throw shooter, but they don't need to foul. Rogers got kind of bopped in the eye there for a split second.
Rogers to the timeline.
Got it across with 1 second to spare.
Less than a minute to go in a 2-point game. Kennedy with the basketball. Underneath, Wojcik!
Oh my goodness.
Oh, he couldn't finish!
Oh my goodness, how did he miss that?
UMBC game.
Yeah, typical. It is typical,
It
actually.
is, actually.
Especially in this building.
Hakeem will let it roll. Here we go. 2-point game, 43 seconds left. Clock runs.
Rogers not on the points at the moment.
They want to go 2 for 1 quickly,
And
they tie it up at 78.
And they did. And now, no matter what happens on this possession, Lowell will get the ball again unless there's an offensive rebound.
And remember, they have the very quick Hakeem who will take care of that basketball.
I think Kennedy's going to take this shot unless he sees someone open like Wojcik was on the last possession. If I'm Jim Ferry, I want Kennedy shooting the ball.
Hammond and Kennedy, less than 10. Kennedy to the basket. Kennedy,
Blocked.
no call there.
I thought he was going to shoot from outside. And there's
UMass Lowell
plenty
with
of
a chance to
time.
win it.
They're not calling timeout.
Blunt, Rogers, ball is loose.
Overtime.
Guess what's happening? And UMass Lowell ended up winning, or I should say UMBC ended up winning by 12.
And they beat
last year, of
Hartford
course,
and went on, and I think they beat Vermont in the championship game.
could be wrong about that, but I'll check it.
A kid named Wiles might have had influence on that game.
Riverhawks get the opening tip here in the overtime. Brooks all the way to the basket.
Great block by Wojcik.
And it's out of bounds off UMass Lowell.
It went off of Brooks. Both teams have played great defense here down the stretch. Watch Wojcik comes from behind, clean block, and you see.
Oh, now they're reversing it.
Well, I thought when I saw the replay that it went off of Brooks.
But Jim Ferry cannot believe it. Let's
watch it again. And you see the clean block by Wojcik. Left arm was on him, but good no call. Oh no, that's off Brooks. There's no doubt that was off of Brooks. That's not my bias showing at all. That's just they missed a call. Good refs miss calls too, just like good players miss shots.
12 on the shot clock. Hakeem. Pump fake. Here's Hammond for 3.
If I were Pat Duquette, I would have wanted Hakeem to take that shot. And instead, it's a foul with the ball in the air. So 2 shots for, I believe, Owens.
I think it's going to be Wojcik underneath. Yeah,
good free throw shooter.
And also, just to remind our viewers, the foul situation carries over in overtime, of course.
Right.
So bonus plus for UMBC.
And UMBC only has 7, so they could shoot 1-on-1 twice. Wojcik's so confident on the free throw line. That's another reason he's in the game.
He just flicks it, you know?
Just goes, this going in. My dad taught me. Probably did.
I think if you're going to play in the pros for 24 years, you're probably going to be a good free throw shooter.
Probably, and you're probably going to teach your son, too.
UMBC by 2 early on, overtime number 1.
UMass Lowell hasn't had a lead since the first half.
1, trying to take Johnson. 1 with 26 today, and his career high.
He should pass, but he got fouled. I thought Johnson did played good defense on that play, but once a really hard guard, as we know, and this will be 2 shots. You see, nice spin move there. Got him up in the air. That's why the foul was called. Good call.
3rd foul on Johnson. Brooks has 4. Thomas is fouled out for UMass Lowell. Nobody with more than 3 for UMBC.
At this moment, you're playing. Unless you fouled out, you're playing.
There's a look at Thomas on the bench.
And actually, Brooks has played the last, 7-8 minutes before fouls.
Second of 2 for Blunt, ties us up at 80.
Start all over again.
Hand off to Owens. Now in the hands of Rogers to the basket. Rogers all the way.
When he gets by you with the left hand, he doesn't miss very often.
16 for Rogers. He beat Hakeem.
Good bounce back here by the Retrievers. Oh, after blowing that lead.
Allen, 1 for 3.
That was a brick.
Rogers low to the ground, picks up the loose ball.
I wonder if Blunt's a little bit tired. He's played most of the game.
Blunt has 41 minutes in this game. Binghamton has upset New Hampshire.
And that means either Hartford might come here if UMBC wins, or Albany.
Rogers. And that should be on Brooks, I believe. And that'll be 5 on Max Brooks.
Obviously a huge play by Johnson.
They're calling it on Blunt. It's on Allen Blunt.
I didn't see him in that play. And he's debating it with Nathan Farrell. Let's see what happens here. Rogers misses.
Blunt's got to come over for the help.
Yeah, and they called the foul on Blunt from behind. I didn't see a whole lot of contact.
Not a lot. Johnson at the line for 2 free throws here.
And another very good free throw shooter, and he bricks it. But I did say at the start of the game that UMBC's advantage shooting free throws might prove critical.
1 of 2 for Nathan Johnson. It's a 1-possession game here with 3:07 left. Blunt gets free of Johnson.
2 misses in a row.
Johnson rebound.
Again, I think he's a little tired.
And this one, I think, will be on Brooks. See what the call is here as we take a look at the replay.
Those are shots he was making the whole first half, even though Wojcik played good defense. And I think they called it actually on Blunt, reaching in there on Johnson. And he'll make 2 here. I'm going to promise you that, Garrett.
It is on Blunt. So that's 2 quick fouls on Blunt here. He's got 4. Brooks has 4. But as you say, it doesn't really matter. They're going to play.
Nobody's coming out. Good free throw shooter after a miss. Gets a little more focused.
Nathan Johnson, 7 rebounds, 3 assists.
Oops, I was wrong. Oh, boy.
1 of 2 there. He's got 5 for the game.
And now it's a 2-possession game. 84-80. A lot of time left. This is Lowell's favorite place to be, right?
Absolutely.
Good defense there by Rogers.
McKee trying to spin past Rogers. Oh!
Wojcik! How many blocks does Wojcik have? Almost got another one.
6 to shoot here for UMass Lowell. Boy, Shimon Wojcik repenting for the layup miss late in regulation.
How many blocks does he have, Gary? You got the stats.
He's got 2 of late. He's got 2 for the game.
Oh, really? I thought he had more than that. Another miss, but they get an offensive rebound. And another block
from Wojcik.
By Wojcik.
What a performance!
Wojcik, Pat the Cat won a goaltending, but that was a good block.
It's Shimon Wojcik's overtime.
No, he's the reason we were in overtime, so that's appropriate.
Well, you know what? You might as well own it.
Yep. Shimon Wojcik taketh away, and then he giveth.
Wojcik does not get the 3. Boy, that would have brought the house down. Still just a 4-point game. Hakeem. Oh, look at Rogers inside!
You know what? That's wrong. He
is wrong.
He should stick around for his teammates.
Absolutely.
He should stick around and shake hands when the game's over one way or the other.
Darnell Rogers at the free throw line, a 91% free throw shooter.
So I should have predicted he'd make 2.
18 for Rogers.
Still don't have to shoot a 3 with 1:45 left, but they need to get a good shot.
There is plenty of time left in this one.
They need to not get another shot blocked.
In trouble. Hall. Again, Rogers!
Again, driving into the lane around Rogers is just not a smart move. And he gets
Rogers
fouled.
is fouled. Foul committed by Hall, putting Rogers back on the line. What defense by UMBC in overtime?
UMass Lowell doesn't have a field goal. 2 free throws on the first possession.
2 blocks by Wojcik, 2 steals by Rogers.
Yeah.
First of all, to get away from Blunt there and then finally get fouled by Hall. A rare miss.
91.1%. Yes, that would be a rare miss.
Brooks now back on the bench here.
Good job by him. Maybe he just needed a moment.
One of 2 for Rogers, 5 of 6 for the game.
Brooks only a sophomore, so he will return. His career's not over.
Hakeem. And again, Johnson right there denying it.
Well, good defense there, forcing him to shoot with that left hand going right.
And they foul Rogers again.
You know what, Gary? I think it's over.
You think?
I think we're going to be here Wednesday night. We just don't know who UMBC will play. It'll be either Hartford or Albany.
What a performance by UMBC in overtime.
Well, they outscored them 9-2.
I'm not saying it's over yet.
Oh, I will.
All right.
I told you we were going to play overtime at the start of the game, didn't I?
That you did. Rogers hits the first. He's got 20.
And now
Jim Ferry on the sideline, you saw.
Lowell does have to shoot 3s now because they're going to be 3 full possessions down.
89, 80, 107 to go.
2-point shot really doesn't do them much good because they'll still be 3 possessions down.
And they are not a great 3-point shooting team, except there. Alan Blunt again. Or was that Anthony Blunt, I believe?
No, I think that was Alan Blunt.
Was it? It was. 31 now.
Oh, good near turnover.
Oh, this was a huge get.
Still got to get it across midcourt. Oh, they were trying to call timeout. And
this one will be out of bounds off you.
Hartford pulling away from Albany. So, oh, shock, we might see Hartford back here on Wednesday night.
Albany only 13 points early in the second half.
That's pretty good in a football game. Boy, that was foul. Yeah, that's foul on a 3.
So here's Alan Blunt, 31 points today, 5 of 6 from the line. He's got 3 shots.
Well, that's a huge miss. Because now, no matter what, it'll still be a two-possession game.
That is a huge miss.
Like I said, he's looked a little tired in overtime. How many minutes has he played?
44 minutes.
Oh, well, I wonder why he's tired. He hasn't been out of the game.
That's true.
That's right. I'm tired sitting here talking. No wonder he's tired.
LJ Owens has 42 minutes for UMBC.
That first miss was a big one. And now, Blunt acting like he's hurt. He's coming out of the game for a minute. Offense, defense here. Trying to get him a little blow. That's the first time he's been out of the game.
So Blunt coming out. Retrievers have to get it past the timeline.
Wisconsin-Michigan game a couple weeks ago.
But they don't need to foul right away.
But they did.
But they do. And they put a good free throw shooter on the line.
Well, who's on the court who's not a good free throw shooter?
Yeah, they're all good.
They're all good. That's one of their advantages, being such a good free throw shooting team. Even with Kennedy having to come out, everybody on the court can shoot free throws.
Simone Wojcik at the line. 16 for Wojcik this afternoon.
This will still be a two-possession game, but UMBC needs to move its defense out to the three-point line because, you know, guys always say, oh, they can still shoot it too. I don't think so with 31 seconds left against a team that makes free throws. I think they got to try to shoot it through.
Cool as a cucumber. By 6, 29 to play. Hakeem.
Nope, that's an
short.
air ball.
Huge miss for UMass Lowell.
Sure was. Now, if UMBC can get the ball in bounds here,
it could be over.
It could be.
It could be.
Could be. Could be. Should be. Not should be.
Yeah, stranger things though, right? Rogers.
You're going to have to foul a 91% free throw shooter who's already missed one. So don't expect him to miss again.
Fouls on Hakeem.
And as long as he makes one, it's a three-possession game again.
Exactly. Rogers goes to the line with 21.
A lot of key moments in this game, but Blunt missing the first of those three free throws was huge because if he'd made all three and it was one possession, then Lowell wouldn't have had to foul. They could have played defense and tried to get a stop.
It is a three-possession game. Wojcik today, 27 minutes. That's a season high. 17 points, 8 rebounds, 3 blocks.
He's played 18 minutes in the second half and overtime.
I mean, he's played almost exclusively down this stretch. In fact, he has played exclusively down this stretch.
That'll do it.
Johnson for UMBC.
Pat Duquette says no fouls.
And the Retrievers, who had a 13-point lead late, hold on in overtime.
What a tremendous basketball game that was.
93-85, the Retrievers.